So, good evening, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Nicole Mulako, and I'm the Program Officer in charge of Library and Consortia from the Training Center in Communication, which is a capacity building trust based at the University of Nairobi in Kenya. And we're excited to have all of you today. We've engaged with you throughout the year on the open access solutions, that is Dimensions, Scholastic, and Genie AI. So today is just a run around the solutions with the kind presence of our facilitator of the day, Dr. Nicholas, who's going to take us through the solutions. So in the meantime, you can share with us via chat any solutions you have encountered while trying to use the solutions. You know, when it comes to dimensions, what challenges have you encountered, Scholastic and Genie AI, and we'll be happy to answer as many questions as we can. So thank you again all for joining us today. And just a bit of house rules is that number one, the session is being recorded. So you're all going to get the recording of the session afterwards. And please keep your videos and mics muted unless you're asking a question, then please raise your hand or you can type it in the chat and we will address it. So without much further ado, I'd like to welcome Dr. Nicholas Outa to take over the session.
Thank you, Nicole, and for organizing this and through the Training Center Communication. And thank you, everyone, for finding time to join us today. I don't know whether I'm audible enough. Nicole, you can confirm if my audio is clear enough, or if
Yes.
I need.
Yes, you're
Okay.
good.
Thank you. So I think we are bringing this to the year is coming to an end, and it would be a nice thing for those who have never participated in some of these trainings to get the chance to participate. But those who have participated before can also now take this opportunity to either revise or also maybe ask certain questions that they might have regarding some of these solutions. So I know there are those who are not attending this for the first time, but I'm really happy that we were able to engage and also we were able to capacity build and train so many scholars and researchers and also managers on different aspects of scientific writing and communication. I am Nicholas Outa. I am Dr. Nicholas Outa, sorry. I think I'm still getting used to that. I just graduated a few weeks ago. My background is fisheries and aquaculture, and I also train and mentor and also, advise on issues around scientific writing and communication. So that's in fact, that is one of the greatest mandates we have at TCC Africa. So we train, support, and empower scholars on various aspects of scientific writing and communication. And of those various aspects is the use of these open access tools in scientific writing and communication. And I am happy that today we are going to talk about dimensions, we are going to talk about Gen AI, and we are also going to talk about Scholastic. Each of them has a specific role that it plays in the writing process. Now, I think there are things I need to get out of the way first because I know we are going to have a plenary session at the end where we are going to discuss a few of these things. One is the use of AI in academia, and we can't bury our heads in the sand and pretend that AI is not here with us. And AI has now found its way into several facets of scientific writing and communication and research in general. So this is my very personal opinion. It's not even the opinion of TCC Africa. This is the personal opinion of Nicholas Outa, that we cannot bury our heads in the sand and try to compete with people from other parts of the world who are using some of these tools. So imagine you are doing a research and you have to read, summarize, synthesize more than 50 or 60 papers so that you are able to identify the knowledge gap, you are able to do your literature search and literature review. If you have to do that manually and just by the conventional way of reading these papers and summarizing them, there is only so much you can do. So that's why now we have some of the tools that we use. The other opinion that I want to express, and as I say, these are my own personal opinions, is that AI is not here to replace your brain or your thinking or your critical thinking as a researcher. AI is here as a helper. So AI is just here to help you work better, just to enhance what you already have. Because for those who already have tried using some of these tools, it gives you what you give it. So if you are not even able to command and not able to give it the right prompt, then you might end up getting the wrong information, even when you have the best tool possible. The other thing that I also want to say here, I know some of you are educators, some of you are lecturers, researchers, or mentors, and you are dealing with scholars. So you are either teaching students, mentoring them, or supervising them. I think instead of telling them not to use these tools, because they will, for a fact, they will use. In fact, sometimes some of them know even more powerful tools than we know ourselves. So the truth is, it's about guiding them and teaching them about the ethical use of AI, rather than telling them that I'm giving you an assignment, don't try to use AI. No. I think that's one of the things we are doing here, that we are exposing you to some of this. There are several tools out there, but then we are exposing you to some of these tools that you still can use for your own research, but also for guiding and also helping other researchers as team members that you work with, or the students that you also how do you say, you mentor or supervise. Having taken that out of the way, and there's something I also want to give an example before I get into my actual demonstration, is when calculators were being introduced into the Kenyan secondary school system. There were, I think also I got a friend from Uganda who was also giving me that same story, that there was a lot of push and pull, because they were saying, calculators are going to make students lazy and all these things. They introduced very basic calculators. Now they have very complicated, they have scientific calculators that can do very complex things. But then do we see that all students still get A's in maths? They don't, or physics. They don't get A's, because if you have a powerful computer or a powerful calculator in front of you, but then you don't know how to use it, or you don't know what to key in, then you still cannot get the correct answer. That's the same thing with AI. You could get a very good tool, but if you don't know how to use it, yeah. The other thing, before I get in, because I know there are several questions, I needed to get some things out of the way. Another thing is, some people ask that if you generate text out of AI, what is the best way to humanize it? Because some people say, there are humanizing tools. There's a lot that has been talked about out there. But the truth is, I always tell people, AI has already saved you the agony of typing 20 pages. So you have spent like 10 minutes working, producing a 20-page document. The least you can do is to read through that document word by word. I'm not saying sentence by sentence, not even paragraph by paragraph. Read it word by word and see how then you can, in your own understanding of the context and your own understanding of the text that is written therein, try to humanize it just by reading and trying to paraphrase, rephrasing, and also just changing it in a way that sounds as human as possible. The problem with trying to use tools is, like Turnitin right now has an AI detector, and it detects what we call AI1 and AI2. AI1 detects original text that was generated out of an AI tool, but then AI2 will detect text that has been rephrased or that has been paraphrased and rephrased using some of these AI tools. So don't go through the agony of having a document for plagiarism, but they also check for AI generated text. And if they find AI generated text to a certain level, then it becomes a problem. The other thing is, if you're a scholar, if you are a teacher or an educator, and you are at a point where you can make decisions in your organization, always try to tell these people to have AI-related policies that govern writing, that govern research. Because what happens is, a student finds their work flagged for having used AI, but then how are you even going to prosecute this student? Because we have laws or policies that are talking about plagiarism. We say it's very clear, if a student plagiarizes, this is what we do. This is how we handle it. But then there are many universities, including mine, that still do not have AI-specific guidelines and AI-specific policies. So then how do we handle students? Because you can tell them that they cannot proceed to the next level, but then they will ask you, based on what rules of the university did I break? So, I'm just bringing this conversation so that when you get back to your places of work or your institutions, these are conversations we can already start having. Now, as I said today, I'm going to demonstrate three tools, sorry. One is Dimensions AI. The second one is Scholastic AI. And the third one is Genie AI. I will start with Dimensions. And Dimensions is not a writing tool. Dimensions is a database that gives you access to papers. It gives you access to research papers. It gives you access to policy documents, patents, data sets, and so many other things, as we will see. Now, and what happens in this case is even if you're going to use a tool, you really need to be sure that whatever has been used by the tool as a citation can be verified. So you can trace it back to a database that is credible. So I will start by demonstrating to you how you can access dimensions and how then you can also use dimensions to help you while you're using an AI tool to write your document, so that what we call citation hallucination does not, you don't fall a victim of citation hallucination, where you have a tool that will just throw in citations that cannot be verified. So you try to find that paper or click on the DOI, then you realize that paper is not there, or it's just talking about something else. So you realize, hey, these were not, real citations, because then I cannot trace back this paper. So for the first part of this demonstration, I'm going to show you how you can access Dimensions AI, and then how then you can use Dimensions AI and link it to a tool that I know almost everyone has used. It's one of the simplest ones. So there are no slides. I'm still just talking. I will start demonstrating it. There are not even slides. I will just demonstrate directly on the on the tool, so that you see what the tool is. Here I'm still building the story. So I will go and show you how then you can access dimensions. Let's okay, I'm just moving some things out of the way so that they don't interfere with my demonstration. Okay, here we go. So if you want to access dimensions, I'll just share my screen so that you see how then you can access dimensions. If you want to access dimensions in a way that will allow you to enjoy all that I want to show you here, you just go to your web browser, type Research for Life. I know most universities and most research institutions in Africa have access to Research for Life. Most of them. But I will also still show you, even if you don't have access to Research for Life, you still can use dimensions. It's only that some features you might not be able to access. So once you go to Research for Life, just pick the first option that comes. And when you want to access Research for Life and log in, go to your librarian or go to whoever is managing, is concerned with knowledge management at your university, and tell them that, hey, I want to access Research for Life. Can you help me with the login details? Because each institution has its own login credentials. So once you go to Research for Life, you just come here and log in. So your librarian should be able to give you the login credentials that you will use to access Research for Life. So once you log in, so get to Research for Life, ask for login credentials for your university. Once you log in, just click on content. So log in, click on content, and then click on databases, because Dimensions is a database. So you log in, click on content, click on databases, and then they're arranged alphabetically. There are so many databases. I don't want to demonstrate them. Just go and click on Dimensions. So log in, click on content, click on databases, scroll down and click on Dimensions. Now, once you click on Dimensions, you will see what will come. Let's see what comes. So once you click on Dimensions, you see now we can be able to access publications, data sets, grants, patents, clinical trials, and policy documents. It's not ordinary, or it's not common that you find a specific database where you can access all these things in one place. So this one is a database where you can now access publications, data sets, grants, patents, all these things. Now, somebody would ask, if my university or my research organization does not have access to research for life, is it still possible for me to use dimensions? Now, you see, when you access dimensions through research for life, then you are able to access all this. They are all active. You can easily click and access all of them. But I want to stop sharing this and then share my screen where I want to show you how you can access dimensions, even if you are not able to access research for life. That is a question that I have gotten from time to time. People asking me, hey, Nicholas, I want to access dimensions, but then I'm not, my university or my institution is not registered. So if you want to access dimensions and you are not registered on research for life, just come and look under, just come and search for dimensions AI, just like that. Then type, just click OK, and then this is the, I want you to pick the first option that comes. So this one is just directly on Google without going through Research for Life. And you'll see why you need to go through Research for Life. Even through here, you still can be able to access a lot of things. But then if you go through Research for Life, you will see the difference. So here you will create a free account, of course. You just create a free account. They don't charge you anything. So you just log in. Like I have an account, so I'll just log in. So you log in and we will see what we are able to access once we log in here. So let's just give it time to download and see. So we will just sign in here. So once, so you see, this is now dimensions that I have accessed, not through Research for Life. Now you can see on this one, the filters are different. There are some filter options that are not there. But then I want you to see that when you access dimensions directly through Google without going through Research for Life, then you can access publications and data sets. But you can't get information on grant, you can't get information on patents, clinical trials, and policy documents. But you still can access publications and data sets. That is one thing I wanted to show you. So I'll go back to dimensions, the one that I accessed through Research for Life, and then you will see. So this is the one that you access through Research for Life. So if you access it through Research for Life, you are able to see all these things. Now, I will only demonstrate two. I will demonstrate publications and grants for very good reasons. You need publications, of course, when you want to write your research, for writing proposals and theses and papers and all these things, because you need to read before you write. But then also grant information for those who are here, you are researchers, you want to collaborate, you want to form consortia, you want to write proposals for funding. You might want to see who has done research in this field, or who has which projects are currently running in my field, or which projects are currently running in my specific, in my country or in my field of research, so that I can either collaborate with them or reach out to them, or who has implemented a similar project before, or who has been funded by a similar funder before, and I can tap into their experience. So we will start with publications. So when you click on publications, we have almost 160 million publications. It's 159 something publications. Now, before we get there, I wanted to look at what is on the left. We see there are several filters. So you can filter by anything. You can filter by publication year. So you can start saying, okay, I only want papers that were published between 2020 something. Now, before we go further, I want to ask, I'm seeing papers that were published in 2026. How about that? What does that mean? Anybody who wants to try? Why do we have papers that were published in 2026? So these are papers that were published in the future. Sorry?
They may be preprints.
Maybe not. Let me just show you something. I'll stop sharing this and share something just for a minute, because I think this is part of what we, these are questions that sometimes come in when we discuss about scientific writing, and, some of these things come up from time to time. We need to, these are things we can't run away from. I just want to show you something here. There's a paper that we published, I think it came out last week. Let me just show here. So we published this paper, and you see the year of publication here is 2026. This is not a preprint. It has been published under Allied Publishing. This is published by, I think it's either Wiley and Francis. Yes. So this one has been allocated 2026, but then it was published last week. So I'm just asking, because I know somebody would say, when we are looking at the filters, you are seeing that some papers were published in 2026 and we are still in 2025. So somebody would be like, hey, how is that even possible? And if you are citing for your supervisor and your supervisor says, okay, I'm seeing a citation, some of them are in the future. So what happens? Somebody says, yeah, it could be a preprint. So they are preempting that this paper will now come out in 2026, for example. But then what are the reasons? As we say, this is not a right or wrong thing. It's just about what do we think. Scholars, that is how scholars are. We don't say this is the right thing. We only support some of these things. Most of them are just opinions. You say, okay, that's what I think. So it's not like I have to be right about it or I have to be wrong about it. Yes, it can be a preprint. That one I agree. But what other option could be there? Yes, Godwin.
So I think usually maybe it's only available online, but they have not been assigned an issue.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. That is actually what I was looking for. So the paper has been published, it's available online, but then you realize some of these journals have a specified number of papers that can go into an issue. So you say maybe for 2025, they have exhausted all their issues, and then they are now not allocating papers, any issues yet until next year. So they cannot issue it, and they cannot allocate it to an issue of 2026 and then still purport that it was published in 2025. That should not even be a problem. What I was showing you are the filters. So we have several filters here that you can see. So let's start by publication year. So your supervisor says, I only want papers that were published between 2020 and 2025. You just click on the square in front. I don't know if this is a square, but whatever that is, in front of the years that you want, and then you click add to search. When you click that, it will reduce the number of papers from 159,000 to let me see, to 43 million papers now. So these papers, you can always see your filters up here. So these are the papers that were published between 2020 and 2026. Okay, so that is the first filter that you can use. You can also filter by country. So I want to close this. I just want to remove that filter, and then I want to filter by country or territory. So let's say I'm doing a research and I only want papers that are relevant to a specific country. So which country do we use? When you click here, you get all the countries and territories, but then you can click view more. Which country? Anybody?
Uganda.
Uganda is the pearl of Africa. So when you click on it, then you just click on the box in front of it and then add to search. So we are now looking for publications that are either published by Ugandan researchers or that are relevant or published about Uganda. So I'm just showing you that these are filters you can use. Now, we have filtered by country, but then we can go back and see now in Uganda, which are the top 10 research institutions in Uganda that are producing publications. Just see here. So you have Makerere. So here you can still even filter and say, I only want papers from Makerere. Then you click on the box in front here. Then all the papers will be from Makerere. But here I'm just showing you that they are giving you the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The top 10 institutions that are either publishing in Uganda or publishing research about Uganda. You can see Harvard here, and you can see University of California, you can see London School of Hygiene. I know you are asking yourself, hey, these are not institutions in Uganda. But then it only means that they are published quite a bit with Ugandan researchers. So they are doing research together. So there are people who are they are publishing with, or there are people from Uganda who are using that as their affiliation. So that's it. So whatever I'm demonstrating here is that you can filter by year, you can filter by country. And then let's see, in Uganda, who are the top 10 researchers in Uganda? You can click under researcher as a filter. Then you can filter by a specific researcher if you want, but you can also just appreciate the researchers here. So you see, these are the top 10 researchers in Uganda who are publishing. You see, these are the top 10 researchers. Then we can also filter by filters are many. We can filter by funder. So you want to say who is funding research in Uganda? The top 10 funders: National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease, Medical Research Council. These are Wellcome Trust. These are the top 10 funders. You could want to know who is funding research in Uganda. We can also filter by research category. So let's say you are doing your literature search, but you want papers from a specific field of research. Of course, I have filtered by Uganda, for example, and I've gone ahead and filtered by Makerere. I've filtered by a specific researcher. Those ones are fine. But then we can say I've filtered by Uganda, but I want papers from a specific field of research, so that when you put in keywords, the platform is already guided enough. So let's see the fields of research. We have several fields of research here. So you can say, okay, I want papers from this specific field of research. All these are fields of research. So you would say, I want papers from Uganda, but only in the field of, which specific field are we talking about here? There are so many. Maybe you can just shout it at random.
Forestry.
Forestry.
Yes.
Forestry sciences. Okay, yes. So we have filtered now. We are looking for papers from Uganda, but in the field of forestry sciences. We have 189 papers that are talking about forestry sciences from the country of Uganda. Now, the other thing about here is this research categories is grouped into two. So you can decide that you want to research categories in terms of field of research, or research category in terms of sustainable development goals. So you are writing a proposal and you say, I only want papers that are speaking to a specific sustainable SDG. So let's say you want gender equality, or you want no poverty, or you want reduced inequality. So you can also choose that I only want papers that are speaking about a specific SDG. So that one I'm just showing you so that you see the options that we have. So we have filtered by publication year, we have filtered by researcher, we have filtered by research organization, we have filtered by country, by funder, we have filtered by field of research, including sustainable development goals. You can also filter by publication type. So let's say you only want articles, or you want preprints, or you want book chapters. You can still say, I only want preprints. Then you click on that, or I only want articles, and you click on that. So you can always remove any of the filters, whenever you want to remove them. Now, so we have also filtered by publication type. You can also filter by source title. So you would say that maybe I want papers from a specific journal. So I only want papers from PLOS ONE, or I only want papers from Research Square, or I only want papers from Malaria Journal. These are filters that you can use to inform your search, so that your search is a bit narrow. You can also filter by journal list. So let's say, I only want papers that are on DOAJ or PubMed. DOAJ would be a very nice filter, because then you are sure that I'm only going to get papers that are open access. So I'm just giving you, all the filters so that you know. You can also filter by open access. You can say, I only want papers that are open access. So all open access, gold open access, bronze, all these things, okay? You can still filter by that. So let's say I only want papers that are all open access. Then you just click to search, add to search, so that any search you do will yield papers that are open access. Now, up to there, the filters are clear. So you can play around with the filters the way you want. Now, we are in Uganda and we are looking at all open access papers. So we can still remove this and just say, okay, we want papers. I'm doing research, but I only want papers from Uganda. And let's say from Uganda under a specific field of research. So let's say we had talked about forestry sciences. So that is where I want to go. So that I'm a fisheries person, so most of the time I just see fisheries. Anyway, so we have filtered by Uganda, we have filtered by forestry sciences, and then after doing all the filters, you can do all the filters you want. You can filter by year, all those things. Then you can click on the side and put in certain keywords. So the guy who talked about forestry sciences, which specific keywords are we putting so that we can try to get papers that are relevant to Uganda? Anybody in the field of forestry?
Forest management.
Forestry management.
Yes.
Forestry management. So here I'm just giving you examples on how then you can do. Then after that, you just press enter. Then we see what we have. So if you feel that there is a filter, any of those filters that is trying to narrow or is trying to narrow the possible number of papers you are getting, then you can always eliminate them one by one. So let's see what we have when we, what is happening? I am not seeing. It should give me some feedback. This happened. Okay, let's go back and see. So then I should put keywords. You talked about forestry management. I don't know why it should just load forestry management. Forestry management. Then you just that should yield papers. I don't know why I'm getting a blank screen. It should yield. Let me just reload. I don't know what is happening here. Okay. I'll go back and see what the problem is. So let's say, okay, let's I don't know.
Probably we'll try forestry policy, maybe, or community forestry policy, or community forestry policy.
Policy.
Yeah.
Yeah, ideally this should give papers. Ideally, it should give me papers in that. But anyway, I don't know what is happening to the site. It has maybe something to do with the site. But then now, let us say that you have keyed in specific keywords, because it should bring you. Let's say you have keyed in a specific keyword and you've gotten a paper. You've scrolled through and then you say, maybe I like this paper. So maybe you find a paper that you like. So let's say you say, maybe this is a paper. I don't know, maybe forestry structure, timber species regeneration, land use cover. And so let's say this is the paper that you like. I don't want the ones that were published in 2025 for demonstration purposes. There's something I want to demonstrate, and I want a paper that is a little bit older, a little bit. So let's say, okay, let's say this is the paper. I'm tired of looking for this thing. So let's say this is the paper that you have highlighted. So you say, okay, I've scrolled through my keywords. I think I've gotten a paper whose title looks, something that, can help me. If you have identified a specific paper, the first thing that you can do here, and I want you to pay attention, the first thing is you can click on summarize. Okay, that is the first thing that you can do, so that before you even commit, you already get this. So this is a high-level summary of that paper. You have not gone in to even read, download the paper, read, or go to the website where the paper is published, but you can just click on summarize, and then you get a high-level summary of the paper so that you get to understand, okay, this is what the paper is talking about. So yeah, I think this is interesting to me, or it's not interesting, so let me look for another paper. So you have the too long didn't read, or you have what we call key highlights. So you still can also click on key highlights and see. Let me see if I can, from the key highlights, I can get something out of this paper. So you have 4 key highlights from the paper. You've not read the paper, but you have 4 key highlights from the paper that give you an idea of what is in the paper. That now can give you an idea of whether you want to read this paper further, you want to follow this paper, download it and read, or I don't think, this is a paper I would want to. Or you can also click on top keywords. So this one, you've not even gone into the paper. You're just summarizing. So you can look at keywords and see, okay, based on these keywords, I think, this one contains something that is interesting, just based on the keywords. So then let's say you have read through and said, okay, based on those summaries, this is a paper that I like. So you click on that paper, on the link, and then now it will open that paper for you. But it will not open it directly. It will give you this option. See this arrow? When you click on this arrow, it will take you, the pop-out arrow will take you directly to the website where this paper is. Okay, and you can download, read, and do all those things. You see the summary you are doing the other side before clicking on the paper is still here. So even when you click and open the paper, you still access the summary option. So you still can summarize. You can still get the summary here, the key highlights. You can also get the too long, didn't read summary, okay? Tell me if you can see a padlock, a white padlock behind, against a green background. Is anybody able to see it? Hello?
Yes, yes.
Yes,
And
we can see it.
Do you
Yes,
know
you
what
can
it
see
is?
it.
What is it?
Open access.
Unlocked.
Yes. So yeah, so in the process of showing you all this, I want also to show you that this is an add-on that you can add to your browser. So it's a browser extension that is called Unpaywall. Unpaywall. I think Nicole can put this in the chat so that you can add it to your browser. What it does is, every time you are browsing for papers on the internet, Unpaywall will scan through the internet and find if there is anywhere that paper can be accessed for free. Anywhere on the internet where that paper can be accessed, free, open access. Because you could be on the website where this paper was published, but then you find the paper is behind a paywall, but then maybe there is somewhere somebody downloaded it and uploaded it somewhere else, and you can download it there for free. So whenever you see that this thing is green, then you know when you click on it, it will take you to the free, the open access version of that paper. Wherever it is, it will locate it. But if you see it's gray, then it means that that paper is not open access anywhere. So I would advise you that you add that Unpaywall as an add-on to your browser. Now, before I digressed, I was showing you that you can click on this as a pop-out arrow, or that's the link. This will take you directly to where the paper is, the website. You can download, read, all those things. The summaries have also shown you how then these summaries are important, because then these summaries will give you an idea of what the paper is talking about before you even read it. And the rest of the things are just the summary, the abstract, and everything is okay. Now, the other thing that I want to show you here is that you can now also, instead of now going back and forth, always doing fresh search, Dimensions gives you access to these active links to all the papers that were cited in the paper that you are reading. So there is this paper cited, even if it's cited 20 papers, you still can be able to click on them and see. You can still even be able to click on a paper, one of the papers that were summarized, that were cited, and then you try to see a summary of what is there, all those. So this is one good thing I like with Dimensions, because then it gives you access to. So this is what we call snowballing in literature search. So one good paper leads you to other papers, just like that. So that is one thing you can do. And if the paper has been cited by any other person, then you can also still see those who have cited that paper, okay? Now, while we are still here, there's something I want to show you, and this is something I want you to pay very close attention to, because it's a very important part of Dimensions. This is where I'm now going to introduce how then you can integrate Dimensions with an AI tool, so that when you write, you can trace your citations back to Dimensions. So you are sure that I'm tracing back all these papers that have been cited here back to Dimensions. So I am sure that whatever has been cited is traceable, is something that is credible, because I can trace it back to the database. Okay, pay attention. Look at the dots on the left, on the extreme left. You see these dots that are written apps. Go to those dots, just to hover your cursor over the dots, and then go and click on the three dots just in front of the many dots. There are several dots that have formed like a square here. When you hover your cursor over them, they will allow you now to access the three other dots. Click on those three other dots and then click on Dimensions Research GPT. I will repeat so that we don't lose me. On the left, on the extreme left of your screen, you will see there are dots that have formed like a square. You don't need to click, just hover your cursor over those dots, and then click on the three dots just in front of the apps. When you click, it allows you now to access what we call Dimensions Research GPT. Click on Dimensions Research GPT, and then you will see what happens. When you click on Dimensions Research GPT, what it will do is, it's going to open ChatGPT. Okay. Now, when it opens ChatGPT, what happens in this case here is it will open ChatGPT so that when you are writing anything now on ChatGPT, you can trace it back. So now you are confining ChatGPT to dimensions. It means that it is going to get information, but strictly from dimensions. It's not going to get citations from somewhere else. So this is why we're talking about hallucination. This is where we were talking about citation hallucination. If you want to deal with citation hallucination so that your papers do not hallucinate or ChatGPT does not give you citations that are not legit, you need to link it to dimensions. And I've shown you how that is done. Now, the window we have here is a window on ChatGPT, but one that is confined to dimensions. Okay? Let me show you something here. So let's say we want to write, let's just use what is here. So what is the effect of climate on malaria? Let's just click on that. So what it will do, it's going to scan through dimensions. And it tells you that recent research on effects of climate change on malaria spans 52,000, over 62,000, 53,000 publications in dimensions. So then it has now grouped those publications into the different areas. You see, now we have global and theoretical modeling, climate, whatever, regional and empirical evidence, reviews and synthesis of mechanisms, all these things. So now once this is done, already ChatGPT now knows that henceforth, I will be getting information from the 53,000 papers that are here. So from here now, you can tell ChatGPT anything to write, but then whatever it is going to write will be informed by whatever is in dimensions. Okay, so let's say I'm just giving just a general prompt just to show you. So you will see what will happen. It's talking to dimensions first. Then it gives you all that you want to read. But the good thing with this is you can confirm, because then there's an active link. If you click on this link, what it will do, it will take you directly to this paper. Let me just click. Then I will open the link. So when you open the link, it will take you to the paper within dimensions. So with that, you are able to be sure that, hey, this is a paper. It's not even going back to dimensions. It's just taking us directly to that paper. You see now, impact of malaria on end pregnancy, on infant mortality and morbidity. You see, and this is open access. So you can easily download and do whatever it is that I don't want cookies anyway. It's giving me cookies. Anyway, so any of these citations, you can easily just click here and it will take you to dimensions. So this is one thing that makes it, you see now it has brought us to dimensions so that we can confirm whether this paper is legit. And then what you can do now, when it brings you to dimensions, it's a good thing just to check on the highlights and compare with the statements that was cited the other side just to see whether it cited correct information from. These highlights will give you very nice, an overview of what is in the paper. So you can easily come back here and check which one was that. Maybe it was this one. So infants or mothers infected during third trimester, sure for all this, that one. Okay. Then you can go back and check in terms of highlights or in terms of the summary. Is it mentioned anywhere that this is the case? See? So you can easily now go back and forth, just confirming facts, changing, maybe if something is not right or maybe not written in a way that makes sense, all those things. So that is one way I wanted to show you how then you can use research, you can use dimensions and link it to ChatGPT so that whenever you're writing, now you are writing within the confines of ChatGPT. Now you can see what is on here. This is my account, but then I have different windows through which I can write. But now when I want to write something that is talking about scientific evidence or whatever it is, if it is about scientific writing, then I will confine dimensions to, I will confine ChatGPT to Dimensions Research GPT. Now, I want to go back to Dimensions and demonstrate for you the last thing before I go to the next tool. I think time is also, I also don't want to rush. This is, we are closing the year anyway, so we can close this in style. So I have already demonstrated to you how then you can handle issues around publication. How do you handle publications? How do you filter? That I've done. I'm not going to talk about data sets and those other things. I'm only going to talk about grants. Grants, as I said, these are projects that have been funded in your field of research or in your country. And as a manager, as a librarian, as a researcher, as a student, or as a lecturer or a professor, or you want to see who is doing research in my
Apologies while we try and get him back. Probably it's his network. Our facilitator is experiencing some network issues, so let's just give him a moment. But in the meantime, please feel free to type in any questions you have or comments of what he's presented so far, and we can go from there.
Okay, so sorry, I lost power and I had now to organize for so many things, internet and all these things. Anyway, I'm back. I was just demonstrating to you. Let me just go back to where I was before everything was interrupted. I was showing you how we can get grant information, project and grant information about. Okay, I'm just going. I think this thing has messed up a lot of things. Anyway, I was just showing you how then how you can access grant information, because we've talked about about publications and you have seen how we can access all those things. I'm just going back to dimensions so that I can show you how to access, how to play around with the grant aspect. So I'll just log in very fast so that we can see how then that works. So then we scroll down and then we scroll down to dimensions here. So we have seen, we talked about publications and how then you can handle that. So I just want to, what is happening? Should not bring me here anyway. Mhm. I don't know what is now happening here. This thing should not be bringing me here. From here, I should just click on dimensions, and then it should take me directly to dimensions. Anyway, I don't know whether the interruption, that internet, it's now also bringing issues here. But I think the bottom line is, because I will not, I don't know what has happened. I just don't know what has happened here. I'll try and see what is wrong. But whatever it is, I just wanted to show you that you still can also access data, the information on grant information. Grant information is about projects that are running in your country. And you can now reach out and say, okay, I've seen a project that you are running. I've seen it on dimensions. Is it possible that I can collaborate, or I can be part of your team? I'm just saying so that you can also use it for collaboration. But then all the filters are, just the same thing I have demonstrated. So you can easily just, even when you go under under grants, you still can apply the filters that I was trying to show you. Yeah, so I don't know what happened here, but then I will find out. I don't know what is going on. It's now misbehaving. Now, I will go to the next tool. At least now you know how then you can access publications, but also grants is the same thing. You apply the filters, and that will allow you now to see grant information. Now, the next tool that I want to show you to demonstrate to is called Scholastic AI. So it's called Scholastic. Scholastic. So when you type on Scholastic, I want you to scroll down and pick this one. I hope you are seeing it. In fact, it's written wrongly as scholarship, but it's Scholastic. So when you click on Scholastic, I want to show you the free version that you can use. So this is the article summarizer. So when you come to Scholastic, when you click on Scholastic AI, when you type Scholastic AI on Google, just come down and click on article summarizer. So Scholastic is not a writing tool. It's an article summarizer that helps summarize papers for you so that you can get as much information out of that paper as possible. So I'll just show you. So when you come to Scholastic, you go to the article summarizer, then you can click try for free. Now it allows you to summarize up to 3 papers per day for free without any commitment. You don't even need to create an account. You just, without any commitment, you can summarize up to 3 papers per day. So you can either drag and drop a paper here, or you can just, when you click here, then you can upload a paper. So you can either drag and drop, or you can upload a paper. But before I upload a paper, there's something I want to show you. I want to show you how the paper looks like, because then maybe when I put it there and it is summarized, you might not appreciate what that paper looks like. I want to show you the paper before I throw it into Scholastic, and then you will see what Scholastic is going to do to it so that you appreciate, because somebody will think, maybe I don't know what that paper looked like. So I'll just share my screen so that you see the paper that I want to put to Scholastic so that you appreciate the power of Scholastic. So this is a paper that we published. This is not the paper that I want. Anyway, this is not the paper. It's not this one. I'll just close this. There's a paper that I want to show you. I want to use our paper. I just want to, okay, let me just look for it. Because some people will tell me, some people when I show them, then they say, I wish I had seen the paper, what it looks like. Then that gives me an idea of what Scholastic has done to it. So this is a paper that we published this year. I'll just, it was on black soldier fly. I know there are people who are in this field and they understand what black soldier fly is, or BSF. So this paper was about BSF. So it was just optimizing black soldier fly production, effects on on substrate variation, on biomass, nutritional quality, hatchability, fecundity, and frost quality. So this is a paper that we published. So I just wanted to show you that whatever I'm throwing into Scholastic for summary is the normal, standardized paper that any normal paper that you would find. So it's not like any, it's a special paper. It's just the normal paper. So I'm just showing you so that you see that it's just the normal papers that we always. So once you appreciate that it's just the normal paper, then I will stop that. And then now I will share with you Scholastic screen so that you get to understand. When I drop that paper there, you will get to understand. So you can easily drag and drop, or you click and upload. So we have clicked, we are opening. So you will see what will happen once we bring the paper on here. So it's going to synthesize that paper, and then out of that, it's going to give you a summary. So let's see what summary looks like once it is it's done. So now you can see the paper that I showed you was a complete paper that had all the sections and everything else. But then now you see what the summary looks like. So the summary starts with, the summary starts with the title. The title is not changed. Of course, it's the way it was. Then these other details are all here, but they're tucked away so that they don't interfere with your writing, with your reading. So you see, we have the authors, the year, the journal, all these things, but they are always tucked away so that you don't. Okay. Now, the summary starts with a snapshot. So this is just a snapshot of what is in the paper. It might not give you all the information, but it starts by giving a snapshot. But then for you to navigate very easily, on the left, we have, the summary, the structure of the summary on the left. So it starts with a snapshot, then you have key findings. So here it has, when you click on this, it has 5 key findings from this paper, including data, So if you don't want to read the entire paper, maybe you feel tired and you all want to see what are the main key points from the paper, then you have 5 of them here, very well summarized from the paper, including some data and all these things from the paper, okay? So as I was showing you on the left, you can start by getting the snapshot, then you go to the key findings. Then the objectives of the paper has also been summarized for you. What was the objective of this study? The methods have also been summarized. See, the method, this is a summary of the methods. Very succinct summary of the methods. Then the results, the key results have also been summarized here for you. The key results, very good summary. Like if you want to get a summary of what were the results about, then the conclusions, then we have the key concepts, so some key concepts. Then there's the dig deeper option. So dig deeper is where you can ask the paper a question. So let's say we can say, summarize the paper in 50 words, maybe focusing on ABCD, then you can decide. So let's say we want to summarize the paper in 50 words. It's going to summarize this paper for us in 50 words, just focusing on the main things. Okay, you see? So that is the dig deeper option. The other option that is there are several other options you can always go and try out, but then the research comparison option is also a good thing. The research comparison option is where Scholastic is now going to show you that, hey, these are the points where, these are the papers that differ with what you are reading, or these are the papers that confirm the results, or they got the same results as what you are reading, okay? So I think this is one, so this is where it confirms previous research. You can easily just see, where it confirms, okay, it confirms. But there is also, in case where it differs with previous research, you can always find where it differs with previous research. The other thing that I like with this is when you are doing comparison, then you can easily say, okay, so when you are doing your arguments, you can easily argue by saying, however, different researchers have gotten different results, because then it shows you where it supports and where it disagrees, okay? It also goes, of course, now to talk about practical applications of the paper you are reading, of the results, then future work. So, it suggests for you future work. Then there are so many other things that you can also check around. The other thing that I also wanted to show you here is you can enhance your summary. Whatever I gave is whatever we are doing here is, like high level summary. But then you can click on the enhance button and see, okay, I want to read as a scheme reader. I want to read as an undergrad. I want to read as a high school student. I want to read it as a researcher, or I want to read as a bullet point lover. So let's say you want to read as a researcher. So as a researcher, it is going to structure the summary differently by giving you a bit more information, because it knows as a researcher you want a bit of an introduction. Then you need the methods and results also maybe organized in a bit more different way. So you can easily talk about them on this side. So you see, if I'm talking about growth, then, okay, so I'm focusing on growth, I'm focusing on reproduction, I'm focusing on phrase quality, I'm focusing on substrate quality, nutrient profiling, for example. So as a researcher, then it gives you the options of, getting a bit more information. So you can use the enhance feature here to get your summaries to be a bit more enhanced, depending on what you want. So if you're a bullet point lover, then you just click on bullet point lover, then it is going to give you the summary in bullet points. You see, it's going to give you summary in bullet points. So this enhanced feature is a very good feature. The other thing that I also wanted to show you is that you can export. You can export your summary as a Word file, or you can export as PPT, all this. So let's say we are exporting as Word. You just click on that, then it is going to be exported as Word. So you can read it even when you are offline. You still can read your summary. That is what I wanted to show you with Scholastic AI. I know the question that will come, that what happens in the event that I copy the summary and just paste it in my writing? It's going to be flagged as having been plagiarized unless you cite appropriately and unless you rephrase, paraphrase, and cite. Otherwise, if you just copy and paste, then this information has been picked directly from a document. So you have to state where it has come from. Now, that one is the free version. If you want the premium version that will allow you now to summarize as many papers as you can, then you will have now to pay for the premium version. The free version allows you to summarize 3 papers per day for free. That one without any commitment. You don't need to create an account. You don't need to do anything. But if you want a version that will allow you to summarize as many papers as you want, then you have to pay $4. No, $5. It's $4.99. $4.9 is what you will have to pay as a subscription fee per month for you now to be able to summarize as many papers without any restrictions. I'm going to demonstrate the next tool so that we would have time now for a panel discussion. The next tool that I want to demonstrate is called Jenny AI. Now, Jenny AI is a writing tool. I told you Scholastic is not a writing tool. Scholastic is a summarizing tool. I want to show you now a writing tool that can help you in your writing. Sometimes you're writing, and then you face what we call writer's block. So you don't know where to start from. You have ideas, but then you really want to jumpstart. The other thing that I also want to talk to you about Jenny is the fact that Jenny puts you in the writing. Most of these AI tools will generate text and then just give you text, some block of text. You don't know where it came from. You don't know the rationale behind that text. But then Jenny allows you to review text before you accept it. So it generates text one at a time, so that you read through it and see, okay, yeah, I think this one makes sense. I want to include this, or maybe this does not make sense. That this does not make sense. I don't want to put it in my writing. I will show you what that means. So let's just I'll just share my screen here. Let me just show you here. So I will just type Jenny here. Just the way I've written it, Jenny AI. So once you write Jenny AI, then you can now scroll down. This is the Jenny that I'm talking about. So make sure you have, I am seeing there are others here, like Jen or something. I want you to come down and look for Jenny AI Academic Writer and Research Tool for Students. This is the one that I want you to pick. Click on it, and then you see what it looks like. So if you don't have an account, it would be a nice thing to go and create an account. I'll just log in to my account. I hope it will not misbehave like the other one was misbehaving. So let's see what it brings. So once you log in, this is what you are going to see. Don't focus on what is on the screen. That one is something I used for something else. When you click on new, then you decide what you want. So let's say we want a new chart or a new document. Then you can still also upload. Now, this upload option allows you to upload documents, or you can import documents from Zotero or from Mendeley or from, if you have a BibTeX file, I know you understand what BibTeX file is. So, or you can upload a PDF into your library so that when you are writing, you can write just from your library alone. But then let's start with a new document. So let's say we want to start writing a new document. So you just click on new document, then you have to give it a prompt. So let's say the prompt is So this is just what I want to write about. So I want to write about the potential of aquaponics in enhancing food and nutrition security in Africa. So you can decide whether you want standard headings or smart headings or no headings at all. Let's go with the standard headings. Let's see what it looks like. So with that, we now have, we have the introduction, literature review, methodology, results, discussion, conclusion, depending on, whatever it is that you want to write. So let's say you have done your research, you have the results. Maybe you have not done research, you are still at the point of writing proposal. So you can change the sections the way you want them to appear. You can easily change the section into something else. But then let's think about this as, so what happens in this case is, now it starts by writing for us the introduction. Now what it does is, it generates text, but it does not accept that text unless you accept it. So it allows you to read the text before you accept. Okay, let's say, okay, let's accept that. Then it will generate the next text. So it allows you to read as you. Then the other good thing is it allows you to even edit. So it's like a Google Doc that is combined with so many other things. So it allows you. So you can easily now be changing. So you can easily, you can edit as you write. You can edit as you write. So what happens is once you accept, then you give it some time, just a few seconds, it will generate the next bunch of text. Then you read through it and say, this one, the next text, maybe this one I don't like. You can try again to generate a different text. Yeah, this one I like. You accept. It generates the next text. And you can also edit as you go by. See? Accept. So it will keep generating until you are done. But then you can easily be editing even as you type. So you can say, let me just edit the first paragraph, the first sentence to make it read better, all those things. So you can do that and then go to the next section, like the methodology part. This one becomes a bit difficult because then this one, you have to write it by yourself. You have to tell Jenny what you did, and then the results, you will always have the results. You are not writing a paper without results. If I'm saying if you are writing a manuscript, then you must have results. So just put the results, and then Jenny will help you do the discussion. But then now the good thing is it includes you in the writing, so it's not just going to download text and present to you. It will put you in the process of the writing. Now, what I want you to look at is I talked about the library, so you can upload documents into your library. Here I have several documents. So when you click on this, you can now easily upload, even if you have 100 papers, just upload them onto your library so that you have documents in your library. The good thing with uploading documents into your library is that you can be able to instruct Jenny that I want you to get information only from my library. I don't want you to get information from any external source. That is the first example that I want you to get. But then under settings, I hope you can see the settings here. Under settings, this is where you are going to instruct Jenny on what you want. Okay, so autocomplete, all this. You can citation style, because you see, as Jenny is writing, it is also citing. Automatically, it keeps citing. Okay, so you can easily say that you are going. I want Jenny to get papers. You can change the citation style if you want. There are several of them. You can click on the citation style that you want, and it will change automatically. Jenny will change that automatically for you. That should not be a problem. You can also get specific collections. So maybe if you want papers from a specific source and all those things. So here is where I was talking about. You can tell Jenny, let's say you have 100 papers in your library and you don't want Jenny to get any papers from any external source, then you switch that one off. So that every time it writes, it only gets information from your library. It only cites sources from your library. It's not going to cite anything from outside your library. That is one thing that you can do. So if you have uploaded enough papers, then you can say, okay, I'm restricting Jenny to only cite from my library, not from somewhere else. Okay. But then you can also say, okay, I can allow Jenny to get papers from my library and also from elsewhere. The good thing, okay, I'll get back to that before I forget. Then you can also talk about citation recency. So you want, how recent do you want your citations to be? The last 2 years, the last 10 years, the last 5 years, you can always say that. And you can also talk about impact factor filter. So let's say you only want to cite papers that are published in a specific journal with specific impact factor. Now, I'll come back here and I will change this to APA for demonstration purposes. So the good thing with Jenny, you can hover your cursor over a specific citation and then you click view. Okay, when you click view, Jenny will take you to that paper so that you can confirm the citation. And if the paper is in your library, it will even highlight for you the basis of that citation. Okay, so you see now it has taken us to that paper so that we can confirm. You see how we have the highlights here, so we can confirm whether the citation was based on an actual paper or it was just hallucinated. Okay, so that is one good thing. You can easily hover your cursor over this, and then this one can even give you full text. You can edit if you want, all those things. The other thing that I want you to see is on the left. You have talked about the library, I've talked about the documents, but then there's what we call AI chat. This option, when you click on it, it opens a small window on the bottom right of your paper. So it asks you what you want to chat with. So you want to chat with the current document, or you want to chat with what? So let's say we are talking about a new chat here. So this new chat, we want to say what we want. So let's say we can say rewrite the introduction based on newspapers. Then maybe you have specific papers that you think are very strong that can write for you a very compelling introduction. So then you will tag those papers. Just then you will tag the paper. So then maybe this is the paper that you want. Another paper, let's say you have 3 papers, you tag those 3 papers. And then when you click enter, Jenny AI is going to rewrite the introduction based on the instruction you have given it. Okay, I just wanted to show you that. Then you can now, after writing all those things, you can decide now to export either as LaTeX, export as Word, or you can copy the entire text on clipboard, and then you can go and paste it wherever you want to paste it. I know you want to ask me about the fears about AI-generated text, all those things. There is an inbuilt AI detector. It's still on trial. I don't think it's available here today. But then, how do you say? Jenny is trying to work around getting an internal AI detector so that it can help you as you edit. It shows you what a percentage of the document is now AI generated. So you can easily. The good thing with Jenny is you can easily edit. You can remove sentences. You can play around with it as you want. So you can easily try to reduce that by just typing, changing text, playing around with phrases and stuff like this. That's all I want to demonstrate today, and I think I will stop my demonstration there, and if there are questions, then we will need to talk about those. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Nicholas. Any questions or comments? The floor is open.
Thank you very much for a wonderful presentation. My name is Mr. John. I'm from the Social Work Department at Makerere University in Uganda. One of the things that is very interesting about the use of AI is the level of change that is happening. The machine is learning very, very fast. If you look back at the things it was doing 3 years ago, there is a marked improvement in the way it can process knowledge. And now we are asking it to correct itself. The last segment of the presentation was saying that for AI to tell you whether there is AI in its presentation. And that raises serious questions about what will be the role of scholars in the future. I know some people are having some kind of pretense where they think that they can avoid AI. Somehow they can go back to the old pen and paper exercises of 10 years ago. But the reality is that AI is infiltrating the profession. And very soon, people have to think about where they're going to lie in the new age. So, what are your thoughts on young researchers preparing to join the field and having a dilemma between whether to join the bandwagon or to stick to the old methods and be left aside? Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think this is an open one. I'll give my very own, how do you say? I'll give my own opinion on this. We can't run away from the fact that almost every researcher has, interacted with AI at a certain level, and I've seen even very old professors are now using AI tools. Some of them don't even know how to use it well. We can't run away from that fact. And if you keep writing, if you want to pretend that you will never use AI, or you will keep just writing and typing these things manually, then at one point you will now not be able to catch up, because you are working as part of a team, for example, and then people apportion works, and you are told tomorrow we need to submit and compile, and then tomorrow you are still trying to struggle to type your 20 pages because you did not want to use AI, for example. You are still reading papers here and there, and other people have done it, and they will tell you, hey, but you are pulling us behind, so we are not going to work together with you. Mine is learn how to use these tools. I'm putting it very expressly. Don't try to run away from AI. I'm telling you, if you run away from AI and pretend that you don't want to use them, or whether they are unethical or not, it's not in my place to say whether using AI is ethical or not. I think this is at a very personal level and also at institutional level. Ethical is ethical is a term that depends on who says it. Like, let's say, if you, maybe for the lack of a better word, if you kill somebody would say, in that context, killing was ethical. You are doing it in self-defense. But then another person would say that the Bible, for example, if you are somebody who's religious, would say the Bible does not say that you can kill under self-defense. Killing is so. If I talk about ethical use of AI, it depends on your context or your definition of ethical, or the definition of your institution in terms of ethical. But try to use AI in a way that is ethical. And mine is learn as many AI tools as you can. They will make your work easy. They will make your productivity just skyrocket. So don't try to shy away from them. Just try to get as many, as you can, and it will make your work very efficient. But I want someone else also to throw in some words here and there. As I said, this is something that I said we are going to discuss. So maybe if someone else also has, we say these are opinions, so no one is going to pin us down based on our opinions. Everybody is entitled to their opinions.
Yes, Moses.
Yeah, thank you so much for the presentation, Dr. Nicholas, and thank you, Nicole, for the opportunity. Mine is also just to add my voice on what Dr. Nicholas has said about the use of AI. I am a PhD student, Moses Akoko from the university, my second year, and I've been encouraged by.
Moses, we can't hear you well. Something is up with your audio.
Okay. How about now? Can you hear
much
me?
better, much better.
I'm sorry. I thought I was using a Bluetooth device, so I think it kind of affected the sound.
It's
So,
okay. Right.
So let me start afresh. Moses Wankokebil from Makerere University in Uganda. I'm in my second year of my PhD studies. And I would like to add my voice to what Dr. Nicholas shared earlier about the use of AI, that we can't run away from AI. It's true. My main supervisor in my work has always encouraged me to ethically use AI. And talking about ethical, of course, making sure that we respect the principles of research and also keep the integrity as we do our work. And the only thing that maybe we also need to emphasize as we encourage our colleagues and friends to use AI is not to forget to make a declaration, because it's one of the things that would show that you're a person of integrity. By, for example, in your work, you would be wise to, for example, state that in my work I've used AI, and then you mention what you've used it for. Like, for example, when I go into my declaration in the work, I have clearly indicated the AI tools I've used, what I've used them for. And I think that helps to build trust, because when I say, for example, that I have used it to for example, refine the wording, enhance my clarity of words, and also when it comes to maybe generating of the illustrations and all that kind of thing. However, all the research, analysis, and intellectual contributions remain entirely mine. That shows that we are not fully depending on AI, but we are using it just like any other tool in order to improve our work and make it to be efficient or standard, and make it to be something that everyone can benefit from, including ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. There's Ariab also who wants to say something before I say.
Okay.
Ariab?
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Nicholas. I'm Ariab Mukamba from College of Health Sciences, Makerere University, Uganda. I've appreciated the way you manipulated dimensions, especially when you were filtering. My question is about search for different databases. For example, when you filter and you go to, let's say, Science Direct, PubMed, or Web of Science, does it mean that if you are doing a systematic review, you can use dimensions and search all the papers that you want without going directly to those databases? Thank you.
Yeah, the thing is, Dimensions is just a database that collects papers from those specific databases. So maybe from those journals, for lack of a better word. So Dimensions is a database, but then it just brings papers from those journals. So it means that when you are doing search on Dimensions, it will lead you to a paper, or it will lead you to papers. But then these papers are published elsewhere. So for you to be able to access the actual paper, when you click on the link, you will be directed to the journal where this paper is published. So if it's on let's say on Elsevier, or it's on PubMed, for example, Dimensions, through that link, Dimensions will take you directly to PubMed, or directly to a specific journal where this paper has been published. So it's just a database that brings them together, but then it will still link you to the original publisher or the original website where this paper is available, or the original journal where this paper was published. I've seen a question somewhere before I forget here. Somebody was asking, can Jenny AI be used in place of reference manager like Mendeley or Zotero? I would strongly advise that you don't, because of course you still can upload if you have your papers, or if you have your library on Mendeley, you can upload the entire library, or on Zotero, you can still upload the entire library onto Jenny, and write with it. But Jenny is a writing tool, so fine. If you want to upload your entire library and then you can write based on your library from Jenny, then that's still fine. But it cannot. I really don't think you can use it in place as a reference tool. I would strongly suggest that you can, of course, upload your papers from those other reference managers, and then after writing, you still can go and refine using the reference managers, because it's a writing tool that just writes and gives you information based on whether you want it to get it from external sources or you want to get it directly from your library. Let me just check if there's any other question. I don't think there is a question here. Most of these are, someone is asking about whether, yeah, these ones are just comments on, appreciating that they were, yeah. So I think we have had a discussion. So if anybody has anything else we can discuss, it might not really just be a question, but then let's talk about this AI thing. I think we started having this discussion around it. And what is, apart from, I think, I don't know whether it's Moses or someone who talked about the ethical use of AI. And as I said, ethical is a bit ambiguous, not ambiguous, but then ethical is whatever is ethical to me could be unethical to someone else. But then ethics must be governed within specific, walls of operation. Like he was talking about, there's ethics that goes with research. So if somebody tries to tell you, okay, what do you mean ethical in using AI? Then you tell them, yeah, just go back to the ethics of research. Then I want you to get that. The reference should be from there. So do you think that the way you used your AI or the tool that you used, is it in line with the ethics of research? So if the answer is no, then it means you didn't use the AI tool ethically. Now, this is also one thing that I also want to say, that AI, I always give people this analogy that AI is like that beautiful girl you flirt with and do other things with in the dark, but then you don't want to be caught holding hands with them in public. So nobody wants to come out clearly and say, okay, this wonderful piece of writing was, done using AI. No. So people do a lot of these things, and AI does very good jobs for them, but then they don't want to declare and say, hey, I used AI here, I used AI there. So I think these are things that we need to start now, and especially because most of our institutions are now recognizing the fact that scholars can use AI. I have worked with scholars from universities where they are allowed expressly to use these tools as long as they declare and say, I used my methodology, I used this specific AI tool to write, this part of my methodology, and this is the specific prompt that so that makes it very clear for whoever is reading your work to know even how to evaluate it. So I think it's not about whether we should use AI in academia or not. It's about the ethical use of AI, and also about which specific AI tools can help us do what specific tasks within the academic field. Basically, I think that's it. But we can't run away. When we started some of these things, maybe Nicole can confirm that we had professors and we would have discussions for a very long time saying, you're trying to encourage scholars to be lazy. Why are you teaching them how to use AI? All these things. But, they got to a point where they said, hey, well, AI is here and they are getting smarter and smarter. People are, training new tools, and these tools are getting a lot of information right now, and their capabilities also, becoming better and better. So it's just about telling, even when we have students, tell them it's not a problem to use AI, but don't just let AI replace your critical thinking as a researcher or as a student. And then you tell them which specific tools to use for which specific tasks. That's what I wanted to add. If there is any other person with any other thing, they can add, or if not, then Nicole can give us a way forward.
Thank you, Dr. Nicholas. Any last comments anyone has before I wind down the session? Okay, so if there's none, I'd like to take this chance to thank everyone for making time. I know it's late on some parts, it's very late in the night, but I thank you all for making time to join us today. This is the last workshop we are having for the calendar year of 2025, and we hope that it's been insightful. We hope that you've had a productive year in your respective fields. We will definitely be inviting you to our next workshops for next year, or some of the workshops that we have that are remaining on other programs like science and scholarly communication training. And we'll be happy to extend the invite to all of you to join us, I think on Monday, if I'm not wrong. And aside from that is we thank you all for the participation throughout the year, because some of you who I can see here are people who have joined our workshops over and over again and shared thoughtful comments and brought questions on various aspects of the tools we've shared. And we've come a long way throughout the year, and we don't take it for granted. So thank you all for joining us. I'll share the recording of this workshop. You'll probably get it by tomorrow morning, all of you, and the emails of the respective members who can support you. Maybe those who want support in Jenny AI will share the email of Mr. Justin, who will be able to assist you. We'll also give you a chance to join our WhatsApp community, and also I'll share any information on any upcoming workshops that we have remaining for the calendar year of 2025. So without much ado, I'd like to thank you all again, and hope to see you all again soon. And if not, if we want to meet again, then meet you all next year. So Merry Christmas and Happy New Year in advance. Thank you, everyone, and do have a lovely evening.
Okay, thank you. Bye. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
So are we receiving certificate for this thing?
We'll raise that issue with the team and advise on the way forward after that. So do not worry about that.